click record here. I hope everybody is doing well. If it's your first time, welcome. Great to see you. I think this is number 4, maybe. We have 2 more left after this. Something like that anyway. Yeah, this is just, an hour of office hours. No problem, Susan. Just answering questions. We've had themes based on some of the questions that you answered when you filled out the Google form. So I figured that was a good place to start to keep it organized and efficient. I always tell everybody, post your name, your location, your email, website, and social media in chat. And I will send the chat at the end of the meeting, and that way everybody can follow each other, add each other to your email lists when you send out newsletters. And and just share information, share about the earthquake on Facebook, stuff like that. So yes, go ahead and post that. I'm gonna put mine before I forget. And of course, I'm gonna do a plug. Oh, I didn't put the Facebook event. I'll put that too. Do a plug because our launch party is Sunday. Let me see. For January Arts, this Sunday, the 18th at the Moon Huts, which is 3 miles, which is closer to the Earthquake Center. So there we go. But it's Quonset huts. They're made for war. So, we should be safe. But no, it's going to be so much fun. I was thinking about it. I have to tell you. So I've been making signs on like Canva, for like sign up for our mailing list today has been QR code central. So I made QR codes for Instagram and like this on Canva. And then also, let me see. Oh yeah, for donations for Zelle and Venmo. And I printed them, and then I've been putting the double-sided poster tape on the back. So I'm prepared when we go and like install and set up on Saturday. So I don't have to sit there and putting these on there, on the backs then. It's one of my mottos, be prepared. Is that the Brownies or the Boy Scouts or something too? I was thinking about that earlier.
Yeah.
But I was doing this like 10 minutes ago, and I figured this will calm me down, and it did, something meditative like that. I mean, not that I needed to be calm for this meeting, but I just had to share that with you. I am nothing if not organized. Oh, they're in the other room. I got coasters today that say January Arts. I posted them on social media. So things are getting like serious. Things are getting exciting. Let me see. Nancy, are you talking to us or somebody else? Because you're muted. I don't know if she was talking to us or not.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. You were muted, so we didn't hear a word you said.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Oh, sorry about that. I just wanted to find out how many people do you anticipate for Sunday?
I'm guessing 250 to 300 people.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, there's like 70 or 80 that said they were going on Facebook, the event, and like 300 that said they were interested. But like there's 70 artists participating, and I know a lot of people that said they were going to be there. So, my brother and sister-in-law are going to be there. They're bringing a couple of friends, and they didn't mark it on Facebook. So yeah, there's an outdoor area. There's going to be seating so people can hang out and talk and get to know each other. And that's what it's all about. So,
well, I just wanted to put it out there that I'm going to be there from about 4 to 6.
Cool.
And if anybody wants to have dinner with me afterwards, I'm game.
Nice.
In downtown LA. So just wanted to let you know.
Awesome. Reach out to Nancy and get something planned.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. So today is social media. If you're just coming on, Faina, did you have something to say?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry.
Thank you for asking. Sorry,
You're welcome.
I thought I'm muted.
Oh, that's okay. If you're just coming on, you'll see everybody's putting their
Want to
information
say
in chat.
hello. Just
So-
saying hello.
Okay. So put your
And
information in chat.
sorry that I didn't come on Saturday. I'm still fighting with the leftovers of the COVID, so I hope I will come and bring my work.
Oh yeah, yeah, there's time this week, so yeah, let me
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I was reading about it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So a couple things about social media, a few questions, and I had sent them in the email. Using social media to an artist's best advantage. That's of course a broad question, a broad topic, a broad, how do you do it? And we, in a meeting earlier today, we were talking about social media, and you can like go to YouTube, you can take classes. There's a lot of workshops out there on social media. Everybody will say something different, and you'll find nuggets of similar stuff in there, about like the business of social media, how to use it effectively and all of that. The one thing I want to say is don't stress about social media. It's like, we often, and I say we, I mean me, I live in a black and white world. I mean, not a black and white world. My thoughts are black and white, and I'm trying to get through that because it's not all or nothing. It's like there's so much in between. You don't have to be perfect on social media. You also, like there's an in between on social media. You don't have to put hashtags each time. You don't even have to put text each time. It's like there's an ideal way to do it to be efficient, but you don't have to do that each time. So that's something that I just want to, kind of give you permission not to be perfect on social media. So, because I mean, me, I'm all about perfectionism. I'm all about like, I need to do it the right way. And it's like, there's no right way. Everybody will tell you the right way to do it, and it's totally different. So it's the right way for you. So just remember that. And again, photos can be wrong when you're posting on social media. Just shoot. I mean, if you look at the photo that I posted on January Arts of the Coasters, it's not perfect. Nothing was lined up perfectly, and I did that on purpose. I'm like, it was, even the coloring was a little off, and I'm okay. Nobody is going to know that. Nobody's going to remember that. They're just going to see, hopefully, my enthusiasm, that things are getting serious. So, it's about the feeling that you're conveying to people. And I know, like, things we'll talk about. So, in terms of advantage, I know, like, I've gone to workshops where people are like, only post images of your art. And then I've gone to other workshops where people are like, share whatever you want, I mean, maybe don't be negative and maybe don't share politics, but that's it. And I personally come from that mentality because collectors, curators, other artists, they want to know who you are as a person. They, gallerists, if they want to work with you, they want to know that you're going to fit into their community, into their family. And I hear this over and over again, especially with gallerists. Oftentimes to get into a gallery, artists are recommended by other artists or friends, or, and so they're going to look you up on social media. And if they just see your work, they're going to, I mean, who knows what they're going to think, but they're not going to know who you are as a person. So I'm all about sharing, like, I mean, you don't have to share all the food you eat. You could do that in stories. Stories are only there 24 hours if you want, unless that's your art, unless that's your art. But, I mean, just share who you are. I'm totally into sharing cats and dogs and, animals. And especially, I don't think she's here. Lynette Henderson is one of my artists, and she paints coyotes and she paints birds. So of course she's been sharing like wildlife things, and her work's about the environment and, and animals and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see. So it fits her work. So some people have asked about like having a separate account for your art. it depends on what you do, and it also depends on who you want your audience to be. There are a lot of people on social media, a lot of artists who have a brand and who have a huge following, and it's all about selling their work. And it takes a lot of work. I mean, you have to like be on that every day, posting, reels, posting your art for sale. It takes work to build that up. You have to have print sales. I follow this artist who, she does like rugs and I don't know, like hooking and textile work, and they're beautiful, they're gorgeous. And she does drops. And she like I've gone on, she's like, I'm gonna do a drop at noon on Friday. And I've gone on at like 12:05 and they're gone. They're like, and I'm like, especially my favorites, but they're all gone.
Oh, what's a drop? I don't know what a drop is.
A drop is, I mean, it's a term used in like, the younger circles to when you're like, what's the best way to describe it? When you're
A
like
release,
a
a
release.
release.
Thank you.
Like
Like
Thank
when,
you.
when an album drops, it's being released.
Yes, it's a release. Like an art release. You're releasing a new work. You're
Oh.
releasing a new book. You're releasing new shoes. You're releasing new album, a new fashion. Yes, thank you, Kathy. I knew there was a good word for it. So artists will do that, and they build up anticipation on social media. So, I mean, it takes some research, and I've talked about this. You need to research. If this is something you want to do, sell your work on social media, research other artists who do it and see how they do it. And look at how they release. Follow them for a month before they release, like a new work, a print or something like that, and see how they do it and emulate how they do it and build up anticipation. Then when it happens, it's like you're going to sell out. And that's exactly, it's psychological. It's like that artist that released the tapestry, textile piece. She mentioned a week before. And so, I was like, oh, if I'm on, I'll look. And, I happened to be, on that time and, and it was gone. And I'm like, damn it. So, but yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to use social media to the artist's advantage. I recommend sharing photos of your studio, sharing in the studio, sharing in process shots. And it could be your kitchen table. It could be your studio outside. It could be walking in nature and seeing inspiration. Our studio is all around. It could be our computer. It could be sitting at the park sketching. It could be, anything like that. Like share yourself working, because one of the things as an artist, you want to tell your story as about being an artist. And that means like sharing your how that you're professional and that you're serious. And that's a huge thing because, galleries and curators, they want to know that you're serious, that you're not just a one-hit wonder, so to speak, as they say in the music industry. It's like they want to see that you're consistently working in the studio, that you're consistently putting out new work. That's the biggest thing, is how prolific you are. Are you drawing every day? Are you working on a body of work? Are you, researching? It's like, that's what social media is good for. I feel like social media, especially Instagram, is good for like a sketchbook. Use it like a sketchbook to share your ideas about who you are as an artist and in the studio. So that's like how you can use it to your best advantage, especially Instagram. Now, Facebook is about community. And it's so funny because Shayna was here on Sunday, Shayna Nice Dambrot, and we've talked about it before. We were on Zoom, I think, a couple weeks ago, and she hates the word community. And so it came up and I'm like, well, what other word would you use? And she's like, I know there isn't another word for it. I just don't like that word. So, but, Facebook is definitely about community. How many people went on Facebook to, oh, I like that. Thank you. It's about building social capital. I like that. How many people went on Facebook after the earthquake? If you were here today and posted or saw their friends, it's like, because we want to feel like we're not alone. And so think about that as an artist. You know, it's a place so you feel like you're not alone. You can ask questions. You know, sometimes my artists will ask me, hey, you know, what do you think about this? And sometimes I don't have an answer, you know, which, I mean, yeah, that does happen. But no, sometimes I don't know, or I feel like it would be good to get other, you know, other experiences. So I'm like, post it on Facebook and see what your friends are artists, your friends are part of the art community, see what they say. Because, you know, use them as, you know, for support, use them for resources. You know, I have a lot of saved posts on Facebook about, like, you know, I'll post Hive Mind or I'll post artists recommendations for spaces to rent, or recommendations for the best printers, or recommendations for framing or whatever, you know, if I'm building up like a database. You know, or, you know, if one of my artists is asking me, you know, hey, do you know this? Then I'll sometimes post. I posted something recently and I don't remember what it was now, but use social media for that, because it's your community of artists. It's just like being in a studio with the artists, but it's online. So if you think about it that way, Facebook is also good for events. So, you know, of course, letting people know, just like Instagram, letting people know you have an event coming up. You know, the groups are pretty good. You know, there's some groups that are better than others. If you're not following LA Art Artist Opportunities, that's a great group to follow. My friend Danny Dodge runs it, and they share jobs. They share art opportunities, open calls, artists ask questions. They have open studio or studios available. I'll send links for some groups that I recommend. If you're in an organization like Southern California Women's Caucus, they have groups. I have a private group for my artists, and, you know, and we share, and, you know, we discuss things, and I share opportunities or articles that I saw, or, you know, funny things, or, you know, and we'll comment. And so again, it's all about feeling like you're not alone, you know. And of course, sometimes I want to be alone and I just put away the phone. You know, I put away the computer, I walk away. So it's easy to do that. But sometimes I want to feel like I'm not alone. And that's, social media is good for that, being an artist. So let me see. Do you have to constantly post on Instagram? No. I recommend 2 to 3 times a week. You know, no less than, I mean, I don't want to say no less than that, because there's always that nuance. There's always something in between. Do the best you can. But if you can, 2 to 3 times a week. And this includes you posting, like, you know, even if you're like, I don't know what to post, you know, post like a picture of your studio and post, you know, I'm sitting here not sure what to do. People will get it. Artists will get it that you're in the studio, not sure what to do. You know, I'll often, you know, sometimes I'll post a picture of my walkway because the sun is coming through, and like the light just is beautiful, the shadows and the light. And it's like, we're artists, we see. So post what you see. You know, it could be grids, it could be street art, whatever it is, post your inspiration, you know, but don't be afraid to post. And I know, like, you know, I know several artists who just don't think about it. They just, Instagram, social media is just not their thing. And I get that too. I mean, I get it, but that's not me. I'm like, I'm attached to my phone, and it's like, you know, and maybe that's like a mental thing, you know, it's like, that's why I'm in therapy. But, you know, some people are like that. Some people, you know, some people just don't. And, you know, it's interesting. I have friends who aren't on social media at all. And of course, I don't talk to them very often, and they live up in Lancaster. But I'm like, how do they live? You know, I'm like, I often wonder, but they're not artists. I do feel, as an artist, social media is a tool. It's an important tool, just like your newsletter, just like going to galleries. If you want to get out there, and if you want to get your work seen, and if you want to be known, You know, it's a tool to use, but it's not the end all and be all tool. It's not like there's no hierarchy of tools, I don't think. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead. There we go. You know, it is just one tool and they're all like equally important, I believe. I mean, and actually, if I would say there's one tool that, and I think I've mentioned this, one tool more important than everything else, it's actually showing up and getting out there and, you know, going to openings and go in talking to people in person, because that's when things happen. I mean, things also happen on social media, but yeah, so in terms of, you know, if I would say 2 to 3 times a week, and, you know, I also stories, they're only there 24 hours. Stories you can share as much as you want. And stories are great because, like, you can support your friends. You know, share a like, all you have to do is click on the little paper airplane thing, I don't know what it's called, you know, on your thing and click add story and share their post, and that's it. You don't have to write anything. Don't stress about tagging people either. Some people say, well, why didn't you tag me? Every once in a while, you know, people do that. And it's like, you know, because I did, you know, it's like I was tired, but I didn't have to share it all, you know, so it's like, do the best you can. And supporting, I mean, generosity begets generosity, support begets support. When you support others, it comes back to you in many different ways. You know, whether they support you or whether somebody else supports you, um, you know, it's just, it's psychological. It's like, you know, the more you support others and do service, you know, for others, it just, it shifts your brain and shifts your perspective and just helps you think differently and just things happen. So I always recommend supporting everybody, you know, supporting and sharing a post on like stories. It's like it's there 24 hours. People watch stories. If you're not sure what a story is, I'm not gonna explain it here because it'll take too long. YouTube is your friend. YouTube and Google. Google, like, you know, how to do a story. It's, you know, there's so many great tutorials on that, you know, and they're quick. They're 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Use Google and YouTube, you know, on how to do certain things. Let's see. Tips for Instagram. Let's see. Oh, when you have nudity in your art. I can answer this one. Um, so I have been banned from Instagram and Facebook, I don't know how many times. It started off, I was banned for like 20, or I was banned from like posting for 24 hours. I could still comment and stuff. And then the next time I couldn't log in for 24 hours. Then it was 3 days, and then it was like a week, and like a couple times it was a month. And so, you know, because my work includes nudity, it's like, even though there's articles out there and, you know, even like Nicole Hebron met with Facebook and it's like art is okay, art that's nudity is okay, they don't recognize my work as art, you know, my body, whatever. And they don't get it, you know, it's like, which is fine. So um, what I do is on my phone, you know, I go into my photos and you'll see when I'm doing like a photo shoot. No, it's the bots, Donna. Nobody, I mean, occasionally somebody may report me, but the algorithms, they can tell. They have ways of recognizing breasts. They have ways of recognizing women's breasts.
That's very funny.
Yes, women's breasts. That's why Nicole Hebron has Free the Nipple, and she actually has pasties that are male nipples that you can put on, you know, and they're, you know, because men could be, you know, topless on social media. So, yeah. So what I do is on my phone, I go and add stickers. You know, you'll see it's like a POW, you know, comic, you know, on my nipples and anything that is obvious. And then I post that on Instagram because I don't want to be banned again right now because it's important to get the message out there about my art. My message is not about getting banned on Facebook. So it sucks, you know. Um, Paintings and drawings of nudity, I haven't had any problems with, but definitely, you know, you may need to filter out, you know, and you could, there used to be a blur tool on like Instagram but it's gone. So I used to just do that. So now I have to do it ahead of time on my phone. Social media trends, you'll see trends happening. I don't know if they do anything. Like there's this trend that bugs the heck out of me where people will hold up a painting like this and they'll release it. They'll turn it. I am not a fan of that at all. I'm like, why? Where did that come from? Patty, did you want to
Love
come on that?
that. I love that.
Oh, really? Why?
Oh my God, my favorite artists do that and I love it. I just can't wait for them to get all the way around.
Oh,
my
interesting.
God.
See? It's like, you know, and that's probably why some people like it. I mean, yeah,
That's hilarious.
thank you for that perspective. Go ahead, Amy.
I'll speak for myself and Monica because I just saw her comment. I hate it. I just hate it. I hate it too. You know, I just hate it. I'm like, just show the painting. Come on. But yeah, just with you. on that
Ditto.
one.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Ditto.
Barry.
I know one person who did that, but she was showing commissions to the people who were getting the thing and then showing their reaction. So it
Oh,
kind of
okay.
made
Oh,
more
that's kind of
sense.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Besides that, I'm not a fan.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, and that Laura, yeah, it totally, it does, anything that keeps you there longer, which actually is a great, a great piece of advice also. That's why people put like up to 10, images of their art. A slideshow keeps you there longer, and that's what Instagram wants. And that's what, people want. And that's why they do reels, because it keeps you on the account longer, which keeps you interested and engagement goes up and the algorithms like you more. So whether we like it or not, thankfully I don't see very many. I don't follow a lot of people who do that. So, but think about what, whether it's like teaching somebody something in a reel or, sharing details of the work and then the original at the end or something like that. I will say the only thing I do like about those is you can see the size. And I'm also, if you know me, I'm a proponent for like, you can see around the canvas that it's a canvas or that it's a panel or that it's an object, that it's a work of art. Because a lot of times, artists share cropped images on social media. And I like it when you could see the edges, that it's an object. So, and April, I have seen that, but it hasn't let me yet. So I don't know if it's being rolled out, but I'm like, how did that person get 13? But they may be rolling it out to different locations, but it won't let me yet. Oh, you did? Oh, cool. Oh, I don't know if you're answering that, Monica, or not. Yeah, I'll have to take
Yes, that was me. Yeah. No, I did 20 images.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Are you talking about for a reel? You're only doing.
No, for posts
No, this was on a post. I was able to put up 20 images.
Oh, okay.
instead of 10.
Yeah.
So they have
Oh,
to-
yeah. Yeah, I can do a lot.
Yeah.
Christine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I recently did a video on Instagram and it got 650 views and 1 follower. What does that mean? I mean, there were a lot of other
people-
good statistics. as
Yeah.
well.
The people watched the video maybe as they were sliding through their, surfing through their social media, and somebody followed your account based on the video. So like they
Right,
followed.
but is it good to get 650 views? I mean, what do you aspire to when you
Don't aspire. That should be like one of my manifesto things. We were talking about this earlier. Don't live by the number because numbers change all the time. I hear people saying, yesterday, this is what somebody said. Yesterday I shared a reel and it had 2,000, followers. A week ago, I shared a different one and it only, 2,000 views. A week ago, I shared a different, similar one and it only got 100. It's like, you have no idea what is going on in the news cycle, the Olympics, the weather, the time of day. Was it a weekday, a weeknight? You can't because also what you want to aspire to is authenticity and organic reach. So you want the people who you want, your audience, to see to see your reels, to see your photos, to comment. That's what you want, is people to comment. So don't aspire to the numbers, but aspire to people commenting. And this is actually good advice in terms of using social media, to your best advantage. Ask questions. If you're doing a reel, or if you're doing a post, ask a question. It could be like, and you don't have to ask the perfect question. You could talk about your day in the studio and you could ask at the end, how was your day? Or something like that, or you can ask a question to artists, like, I'm struggling with, using matte medium, as glue. What do you recommend? Or, that's stupid, but you know what I mean? Like, asking questions builds engagement. And the more engagement, the more you have people commenting, the better. That's what you want, is people to comment. And like we were talking about it earlier, that's why it's good for you to comment on people's accounts also, whether it's with an emoji, you put a heart there, or a thumbs up, or you say yay, or congratulations, or anytime you do that, it helps the other person. And it also helps you because it shows that you're engaging, but it also shows that they're building engagement. That's why, like, everybody, when you follow each other, try and do that, and you don't have to stress about it. Like, if you don't go on social media much, when you go on, just plan to, scroll through for a few minutes and do what you can. It's like, do the best you can. Remember that. I think, let me see. I feel like there was something else I was going to say about that. Aspiring the numbers. It's, I mean, the other reason not to aspire to a number is because, the algorithms, the bots, the way like Instagram has a mind of its own. They're business oriented. So they are after, the business. And especially if you don't pay, they want you to pay. So they may not put you in higher in their feed because they want you to boost their posts and stuff like that. But don't worry about that. That's why don't worry about the numbers. Just post what you post. I posted, I post quotes like on Shoebox, and now I'm doing it on January Arts, like inspirational quotes. One of the one of the top posts that I do is the one about the artist studio. It's like the dream studio. Do you guys remember that? It's like where it's a tiny kitchen, a tiny bedroom, a tiny bathroom, and then the rest of the space is all artist studio. That gets me 400 or 500 likes, but like one time it only got me 75, the same exact thing. So it's like, and, posted a couple of months apart. So it's like, who knows why, the numbers are the way they are. I saw, let me see, in chat. So do you think it's possible to post too much? I followed someone in my feed. Yes. It's possible to post too much. And I worry about it. Like, but so January Arts, for instance, we have on Instagram, I think we now have 1,000 followers, over 1,000 followers, which I'm really proud of. And so, but I've been supporting the artists who have submitted for the Small Works fundraiser. And I wanted to make sure I posted their work on social media so that, people saw their work. And of course, so hopefully we could sell. but it's like, you know, the last couple of weeks I've gotten so much work in, I had to do 4 posts a day. So, but it's a business page like Instagram, you know, Instagram, it's a regular account, but Facebook is a business page. Not everybody sees every post all the time because of algorithms, because of when you're on social media. And it's like out of those 1,000 followers, there's probably a dozen, you know, 2 dozen that see the posts. And then the artist may share, you know, but they're still getting likes and you know, people are seeing them and stuff like that. But I did it because I want to make sure that I'm supporting all of the artists and that people are seeing all of the art. I won't do that again after the launch. Like I'll do one a day or, you know, or if something comes up, I'll share posts or something like that. But you know, there are artists, I've unfollowed artists who post their artwork, you know, a few times a day. The same artwork, like, you know, different, like every 10 minutes, they'll take a picture of it and post like what they've done in 10 minutes and post that and post that and post that. And that's all that's on my feed. And that gets a little, you know, a little too much. And it doesn't do anything. That's why I save those photos and do a reel at the end of the day or something like that. And yeah, it does, you know, what I'll do is I'll snooze them for 30 days. I use snooze a lot. So you can do that on Facebook. I think you can, I don't remember now if you could do it on Instagram, but I snooze people for 30 days on Facebook, especially if it involves politics or something, or if, you know, if it's negative, a lot of times I'll look at the rest of their feed and I'll unfriend them. You know, I don't want that on my timeline at all. I don't need that. Even if it's an artist, I'm like, that's not the kind of person that I want to hang around. So you have to think about that too. I also I want to follow people that are authentic and that, you know, are supportive of, you know, of others and of, you know, that share information and that are inspiring. And I'm thankful to have that community on my Facebook. So yes, there have been people that I've snoozed or unfollowed because, you know, if they have an event coming up or, you know, they're posting several times a day, the same exact things. And it's like, that's too much. So I do not recommend doing that. Let me see. I think there was something else. Let's see. Oh, okay. Those are just comments. So, you know, I post daily. Oh, thanks, Anne. Yeah, just unmuting and yeah, I've muted on Instagram too. Um, I post, I mean, almost every day, but for me, it's organic. You know, it's like, and sometimes I'll realize, oh, I haven't posted in 2 or 3 days. I don't have a schedule. I have like that. I don't like, I can't work that way. I mean, I'm very organized and I'm going to be doing a workshop on organization for artists in September. So keep an eye out for that. But like Ellen, the president of January Arts, she was like, or maybe it was Emily, my bookkeeper, one of them. They're like, you are the most organized person I know. So like, I mean, I have a calendar. This is my handwritten calendar that I use to schedule out like all of my January arts and my art and cake 60/60 posts. You can see I haven't done the last couple of weeks because I've been so busy. But so I mean, there's things that I do need to keep organized, you know, but I don't have a schedule per se. I schedule on, you know, like through Facebook, you could use the Meta Business Suite. If you have a Facebook page, and I know it's a pain, it's like there's also Hootsuite, there's Monday, there's all sorts of schedulers. And if you don't know what a scheduler is, you know, you can Google social media scheduler. I said it's on Art and Cake. If you scroll down, there's a call for artists. It's artists that are 60. And it was going to only be 60 artists, but it's turned into like 150. So, and they're inspiring. It's like, it's one of my favorite things that I've ever done, I think. So, let me see. Oh yeah, Meta Business Suite. So if you're not familiar with what a social media scheduler is, Google it or YouTube it. And you can find many different schedulers out there. You know, using like the Meta Business Suite. That's what I use to schedule out all my posts. I've gotten used to it. It's easy for me. I'm good at that type of thing. So, so let me see. Should you have a creator or a business account? Very good question. And Kathy, I mean, my art, when do you squeeze in time to do your art? I sent out, I did a blog post today for Perceive Me, and that's my art. So it's like, it's all one. It's all one. I'm like,
Okay, it's all a part of your creative life,
yeah,
because that's the thing. The idea that you're spending so much time building a business, when do you have time to just be an artist and make art?
well, I mean, if I didn't have the time, Perceive Me wouldn't be around. Somebody's coming over tomorrow to shoot photos of me for Perceive Me. So it's like, it's mixed in there. I don't work 8 to 5 in the studio. I work like all different hours, all different times. The brewery art walk, I'm showing Perceive Me, stuff like that. So, but thank you for asking. And creator or business account, I recommend it. Yeah, and Nancy put creator. I would do creator because you can look at your insights and you get like other perks. So, and again, you can even YouTube or Google what's the difference between creator and business account on Instagram. And I'm sure you can find graphs, with the difference. So, yes, you can. And you can also, I don't know, you wouldn't lose your content, Monica. As far as I know, you can totally just switch to creator. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. How to draw attention to your website. Good question. First of all, and I know, it's so funny. When I was thinking about today, I'm like, did I say we were going to talk about social media? I mean, until next week, my brain is fried. So we may have talked about some of this stuff before, but it's like after Sunday, I will and actually Monday, my brain may be fried too, but I'll still be here Monday night. But yes, I'm like, wait, did we talk about this? Where was I? So your website, drawing attention to your website on social media. I put this here on social media because, I try or I recommend when you're doing a post on Facebook, put your website, if you're talking about your work, put your website down there, just put that link every single time. It's like that way people see it. You can also, kind of be creative about it. Every couple of weeks post, I'm updating my website, check it out, and post the link. You could do that on Instagram using Linktree, or make sure you have your website in your bio, whether it's on Linktree or whether it's one of the links. But, also, and I think we talked about this, SEOs. So if you're not sure what an SEO is, Google it or YouTube, because that's, again, a whole other thing. And make sure your SEOs are like the keywords behind your website, like behind the images, behind in the text. And that will raise you it's like the keywords like abstract artist, textile artist, feminist. I mean, it's bigger than that, but that will help raise you. Like when somebody goes to Google and searches for feminist artist, you'll show up higher on the thing. So being specific helps, in those terms. So just keep that in mind. Like plus size artist is what I would put, or performance artist, or, so SEO, the letters SEO, Google that and play with that on your website. And that will help maximize your website in Google searches. But, having a blog, and that was a question, are blogs out of date? No. I mean, especially now that Substack is huge. And, I mean, Google Substack, YouTube Substack, if you want to learn more about it. It's a great resource for writers. You can follow people. Oh, thanks, Sherry. And sorry, I'm thank you for answering all the questions, everybody in chat. Substack is great for writers. January Arts is on there. Our Call for Art list is on there. 13 Things LA, which is Shane and East Ambrot and Heidi Johnson's like gallery reviews is on there. And, you know, depending on the content, some of it's free and some of it is like a monthly fee, like $5 a month. So instead of paying for a newspaper subscription or a magazine subscription, you're paying the writer directly, which is huge. I mean, so Substack is growing for that reason alone, because the actual writer is getting paid. Now, when I talked to Shayna the other day, she's like, you know, they're not making enough money to make a living, but it helps. So, I mean, she can't quit her other jobs of, you know, of doing essays and stuff like that, but it definitely helps. So it's, you know, it's a alternate income. So that being said, having a blog on your website. So I have a blog, it's called News. And so I use it, like today, I did a blog post and I'm searching for artists. In fact, I'll put a link here. And what you'll notice is I put a call out for artists, for, you know, people to draw during my nude portrait sessions that we're doing during the brewery art walk. And so you can, if you know, follow that link, it's on my website, it will take you to the call for art, and then there's a Google form that you can fill out. But what you'll notice is that post takes you to my website. So all you have to do is click on my name. You can click on the menu at the top and look at all of my art. You know, you can look at, you know, recent blog posts, you can look at everything I've done. So by doing blog posts like that, whether it is a call to action, whether it is sharing a story, sharing works in progress, sharing photos, it could just be photos of an opening or photos from your trip to Greece, or, you know, it could just be a blog post about the experiences. I did a blog post called Why Perceive Me, where Liberty Worth talked about her experience of modeling for Perceive Me. So, and it was beautiful. And I shared it on social media. A lot of people read it and it took people back to my website. So I believe like blogs on your website are still relevant. I mean, again, they're not in the hierarchy of things. They're not a huge thing, but it's a tool. So if you think of it as a tool, you know, in that way. So let's see. I also wanted to cover, and you know, and I know we've, you know, I've kind of been covering some of these topics, and I'll stay a little longer today. We could talk about, you know, and I'll answer some other questions too. Newsletters is another tool. It's just as important as social media. So if you don't have an email list, put one together. The email list, like your email list, includes friends, followers, collectors, galleries that you like, curators, you know, anybody that's in your email list. You make a list and, you know, you can, I mean, it's easy. I mean, it's easy for me at least. You know, I use MailChimp. There's also Constant Contact. There's one called Email Octopus. Wix, my website, I actually, through my personal website, I can send email newsletters through Wix. Excuse me, and it goes right to people's inbox. And that is the important thing, because social media, you know, again, nobody's on social media at the same time every day. Not everybody is seeing every single post. And so by sending out an email newsletter with like an event that you're doing, send it out once every couple of months, unless there's an event going on, then you can send it out, you know, a little more. But it goes right to their inbox, and that way they see it, and what they do with it after that is up to them. But at least they see it. So they get a glimpse, and you don't know what they're going to do after that. The social media, they may never see your post because it depends on when they're on social media, at what time of day. So, so put together your email list first. Don't be afraid to add people to the list. If you use MailChimp, you can like copy and paste that list into your audience. And then as long as at the bottom of the email, there's an unsubscribe button, you're good. Don't stress, don't worry about if, you know, you're there, if you invited them personally, you don't have to, it's okay. And then, you know, yeah, send out emails, whether, you know, depending on if you have an event coming up or, you know, what's going on. And, you know, and it's really lovely when people respond to say, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing. I had an open studio last year. It was probably July. It was before, like it was a month before I had my cancer removed. Friday's my 1 year cancer free thing. So I'll be sharing that on social media. That's a good thing to share on social media. But I had an open studio, and of course, some friends from Lancaster who I hadn't seen in like 8 to 10 years came. And so, you know, they surprised me. I had no idea. It was lovely to see them. We went out to dinner afterwards, but because they got my newsletter, and I never hear from them, but they lurk. They're on social media and email newsletters. There are a lot of lurkers out there that just watch. So, you know, they keep an eye. Gallerists do this, curators do this. It's another way to show that you're a serious professional artist and that you're prolific and that you're working and that you're showing. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. You continue to build an email list. You know, when you go to openings, get cards. You know, pass out cards, get cards. If you have an open studio or an event, put out a list that people can sign. This is like one of these things I think I had mentioned is, let me see. Oh, this one, sign up to join our mailing list, and it's a QR code. So people at the January Arts launch party can just, you know, scan that and sign up immediately for our mailing list. So, and it's, you know, you get the link from MailChimp. So, you know, it'll get you the link. So, so there are a lot of different ways, but also research. You know, don't be afraid to put gallerists that you like, galleries that you want them to see your work. Donna, did you have a question? Or were you
Me?
just, oh, okay. I heard something, but
Oh,
so yeah, I think, well, you know, let me open it up to questions now. I know there were questions asked in chat, and again, thank you everybody for answering a lot of those. And good job, Shelley, for for putting, you know, for putting the sign up link there. Perfect. Oh, no problem, Donna. Let's see. Any questions about social media, about MailChimp, about anything? Anything. That's what I'm here for.
Well, I noticed in the chat there were some very interesting, someone was asking about the galleries. You didn't answer that question.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Where is it?
Interesting.
I'm
Online shows and then those galleries where you, if you're accepted, you pay. Those are very good questions, whoever that was.
was it early on? Yeah. Let me see. If you see the questions, do you mind putting them in chat again? I'm scrolling up looking for them, but let me see.
Yeah.
And those were my questions.
Oh, okay. What was it, Susan?
Yeah, I was curious about two different things.
Okay.
What do people think about shows that are listed as just being online? How effective have that been? Experiences? And then the second was, I've seen a trend in some calls for work where there's no submission fee up front, but then it's artists who are selected pay. And I haven't participated in anything like that. I'm just curious if people have experiences with that.
Oh, good question. So first of all, I'm getting, let me see. I do online exhibitions. You know, I do them for artists. Let me see. Let me put it in chat. There's one tomorrow night at 6 p.m. a Zoom artist talk with Amy Meyer, who's here. Sorry, Amy, I know you want to stay under the radar, but I think if she's still here. But yes, there's an artist talk tomorrow. So I do online exhibitions because why not? I have the physical space here at the brewery where, like during the pandemic, I wasn't doing anything physical. So it's like I have the platform, I have the website why not work with an artist to put together a body of work that tells a story and they can talk about it, you know, in an artist talk, in like, you know, they can, you know, push people there. I've sold a couple of pieces of work through online exhibitions, and it's like, why not? I I think I did have an online Perceive You exhibition, and there was a $10 like call for art fee. It was through Cafe, and that basically paid for Cafe. So it wasn't that much. I also have had like curated exhibitions. I did one early in the pandemic that was called Homefront, and that was because I was noticing a lot of artists using like doing work that focused on everyday objects. Like George Stoll, he like makes cups that look like Tupperware out of resin, you know, or artists using like Amazon bags. I mean, things like that. I had 40 artists, I mean, well-known names. We did an artist talk on Zoom, and it was wonderful. It was like, it was amazing, and it
Wow.
was online. And so it's like, why not? You know, I don't like the online shows that, you know, where they charge 30 or 40 bucks, the same as a physical gallery. I'm like, I don't agree with that. So, you know, I mean, there is still work behind it and stuff, but, so, you know, like I said, we charge 10 bucks. In terms of galleries that, you have to, like, that don't have a fee, but you pay if you're in, it depends on the fee. It depends the price. It depends on location. It depends on their reputation. Um, I, you know, if like, it depends on, you know, and these are things you can ask. Don't be afraid to ask a gallery if they sell art. Don't be afraid to ask a gallery how many people come to their opening. The problem is if there's a hanging fee, it depends on how much, they won't try and sell your work because they're making the money from the artists in their hanging fees. And if it's a group show, there could be 50 artists. And if it's a $50 or $100 hanging fee, that's $100. That's like 5,000 bucks right there. I mean, I'm just making up numbers, but it's like, they don't, you know, their rent is paid. So it's like, they don't need to work for a commission. So, you know, it depends on the reputation. I don't do them personally, but I recommend trying everything once, because you will get the experience on whether it works for you or not. I recommend this for everything, for, you know, calls for art, for renting a gallery space, for, you know, doing the art fairs. Try it once. You know, you may have the best time, like at the Beverly Hills Art Show. You may sell more work than you could even imagine. You may, you know, and it could be something you never thought of, or it could be totally exhausting and not worth the time. You could be hot, you could, you know, I mean, and you're like, but you know, you're not going to do it again. So it's like, if you don't try it once, you'll never know.
Right.
So I hope that helped, Susan.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah,
The Los
yeah, go ahead,
Angeles Art-
Aleka.
The Los Angeles Art Association, for those of you who are in it, they do online shows, and it's just as, I think it's much more convenient and interesting than having to schlep to the gallery on the 1 or 2 days that it's open. And you can scroll through and you can enlarge, you know, zoom in on stuff. It's fascinating. I love it.
And
So-
you know, if it's free, then that's great. Because if you're a member of LAAA,
Yeah,
I don't know, do they sell work that's in the online shows? I mean, does work actually sell?
I don't know anything about selling. So
Okay. Gotcha. I don't know if anybody's actually sold work that has been in an online show on LAAA.
No.
I actually have.
You have? Okay, Darlene,
Yes.
awesome.
who is speaking?
That was
Darlene.
Darlin. Sorry.
No, yeah, thank you. I mean, I just don't know. So it's great to know, you know, and there's, you know, don't, again, like as far as, and I know, what are things to look for when looking into a gallery's reputation? You know, you can even like look at their past shows, look and see if they've had press written about them, you know, search for them on social media. Like, there's a gallery, and I don't hear much from them anymore. There was a gallery on West Adams. Lowell Ryan? Yes. I always get them mixed up with Lauren Powell. Lowell Ryan Gallery. I know like Alexandra Grant, if you know who she is, she's a well-known LA artist. She was with them for a while. I went to a dinner like there the night before the opening of her show, and she's dating Keanu Reeves and he was there. So it was like very cool. But like within that year, she left the gallery because, you know, the guy who runs it, you know, there were sexual assault charges against him. So, you know, you can, and I've had a couple of people ask me, and I Googled it. I mean, Google is your friend. So I Googled it, and, you know, they were in New York under a different name. And, you know, looking up his name, there were also some allegations. I don't know what's happened because he's still around. You know, but I'm probably not going to show there just because I trust Alexandra. Go ahead, Julie. Do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I actually had a show at Museum, which is kind of across the street and down
Yeah.
when she had the show there, and I heard about those allegations. So I know a lot of artists that don't show there because of that.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
museum's closed now too, so
Yeah. Yeah, Museum, I mean, Museum was a great space, and you'll find other spaces like this. Lena Moros and her daughter Michelle ran Museum. It was connected to her husband's art restoration business. And they
yeah,
used to
exactly.
rent the gallery out to like critique groups, and they had a back area, and Lena would make like, I think about her bread all the time. I mean,
Oh,
make the
oh
bread.
yeah.
You can buy it still. She would bring me
Or those,
loaves of bread.
yeah,
And her
but
potatoes and like Russian vodka. You know?
yeah. You know, in terms of finding galleries, I would recommend when you go out and see shows, if you like the gallery, talk to the gallerist. My studio mate had a show at Gallery Sade, and I ended up talking to the gallerist for an hour and a half, and the next week I had a studio visit. So it's just about making connections
Yep. Yep.
and asking, you know, not being afraid to ask. I used to be very afraid of asking, and now it's just like, forget it. You need to see this. So,
Exactly. Yep.
but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I always say if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And spaces like Sade and like Juan Zimmer, which are really close to the brewery, a lot of those spaces are smaller and they are approachable. It's like they're, you know, the gallerists, the people that running them are young and hip and fun and, you know, and they're approachable. There's also Last Projects, which is here on Avenue 20. I mean, you know, there's a few cool spaces around here. There's, you know, Atwater Village has some spaces, and on Verdugo, Glassell Park. So it's like, but you know, a lot of these places like we think that they're not approachable because there's also a myth, and part of it's true that people sitting behind the desk at galleries, they don't look up, they're like busy working. Some, you know, Gagosian, I think, and you know, and I've never been to a Gagosian, so I can't say for sure, but you know, there's like, you know, there's stories about how they're rude, you know, and they like, if you're not a collector, they're not going to talk to you, you know, stuff like that. But the smaller spaces, you know, especially in LA, are very approachable. So don't be afraid to approach. Oh, Julie, you're sharing something.
What happened here?
Oh, that's okay. She probably clicked the wrong button. Let me see. And Charlene
Sorry about that.
asked, that's okay. It's okay to send out newsletters to people who didn't sign up. Yes. To galleries. Yes. Because, well, and it's in the UK, it's illegal. So I will say that they passed a law. In the US, it's totally okay as long as there's an unsubscribe button at the bottom. But remember, it is the gallery's job, it's the curator's job to learn about new artists. I mean, the gallery, it's their job to sell, of course, but especially curators. Curators, I mean, I've heard this from curators that I bring in as speakers. They want to see new artists' work. They want to discover artists that haven't been discovered before. The only way they're going to find out is by you sending a newsletter or sharing on social media that maybe they haven't seen before. So, you know, as long as there's an unsubscribe button, you know, they can easily unsubscribe if it's not their thing. So don't worry about that. You know, I wouldn't stress about that at all. Let me see. Oh, I've heard that. You know, I read the profile or listened to the profile in the New Yorker. Let me see. Is there anything else I missed? Any other questions? Let's see.
Hi, Christine.
Yeah, hi.
I just found how to unmute myself. I wanted, before you were discussing if it was selling in 825
Uh-huh.
or not, I sold there online.
Oh, good.
You
Good.
sold work online?
Huh?
You did sell work online?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I know it was the question if something was sold there, so I wanted to say, but you know how I'm not very knowledgeable in
Yeah, no, thank you. You know, and I mean, and that's
I also
oh,
want
go ahead.
to, like a few sessions ago, you were discussing that one thing leads to another thing.
Uh-huh.
I also wanted to say something, and I guess I cannot, but now I want to add that that after your show, you remember, I have my own plan, and I had a few more shows at the same time.
Yeah.
I put my work at 825 advertisement, and few people actually told me they want to buy my work. And yeah, but when they found out the price, they said, well, we cannot afford it. But you know what I'm trying to say, that like you said, one thing is leading to another thing. So just
Yeah.
want to
I
okay,
have a
so
question for
Yeah,
Faina.
thank you.
Did you, when you sold your work online,
right.
did you go into the gallery and meet the person who bought it? Just out of curiosity.
No, it was during the COVID.
It
I
was
just
During COVID.
During COVID. I never met, I don't know who bought it. I don't know who bought it. But I was happy, you know, to sell it. And anyway, even though many times I'm thinking that I don't want to sell my work because I'm very slow worker and I don't have that many pieces. And those pieces who people want to buy, they want to buy cheap, and they want to and I cannot separate myself from them. It's like my babies.
That's why you can make prints of your work.
Yeah,
Sell the
actually,
prints.
good
the-
idea. Good idea.
actually, the person who asked me if I want to sell, she asked me that she can buy some prints, but to tell you the truth, I didn't do it yet.
Well, that's okay. You didn't do it yet. Add
Right.
yet to the end of everything. You didn't do it yet.
Exactly. Yes, I'm thinking about it. Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. It, you know, and that's one of those things that everything leads to another. The thought is there, the seed is planted, it will happen eventually.
Right.
We should
Thank
talk
you
about prints. That's a
for
good.
the advice you give.
Yep. Well, you know, this is a good segue for next week because I was thinking, oh, we should talk about sales next week and selling art. I don't think we've talked about that, have we?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh.
You know, like I said, I'm all over the place. We'll be able to talk about selling, especially after I sell out the show on Sunday, right?
I also would like to talk about making prints. This is a whole other. world.
Perfect. Yep. Prints and selling art. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great to see everybody. I put the link in chat. So if you want to join us on tomorrow, it's tomorrow. At 6 p.m. is Amy Myers Artist Talk. Also, tomorrow, I'm going to plug this too. Deborah Disman is interviewing me on Instagram Live. So it'll be the January Arts account. So keep an eye on for that. That's at 5 p.m. And then Amy's Artist Talk is at 6 tomorrow. So awesome. Well, good to see everybody. Great to be here with all of you. I'm glad we're not rattled enough, you know. And hopefully see you on Sunday. Yay! In person. All righty, take care.
Thanks, Christine.
Thanks, Christine.
You're
See you
welcome.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye,
You're welcome.
everybody.
Oh.